SGTT2020 をお楽しみいただけてますでしょうか。しから引き続き箱森黒子が担当いたします。続いてのゲームはザ・タロスプリンシパルリア・リ・アウェイクンド。カテゴリーがカテゴリーがオールキャンペーンズの FF となっております。こちら現在解説の方いらっしゃいません。解説できるという方いらっしゃいましたら振ってご応募ください。音声での解説が難しいという方はコメント欄での補足解説と入れていただけますと非常に助かります。ご存知の方いらっしゃいましたらぜひよろしくお願いします。ありがとうございます。先ほどのスパイを現在Steam でセール中とのことで気になった方ぜひプレイしてみたらいかがでしょうか。
You can donate directly to Doctors Without Borders, or choose the support Games Done Quick option to subscribe to the channel and help make our marathon content the best that it can be.
いわゆるそのパズルゲームなんですね。一人称したらパズルゲームです。そちらは私存じてるんですが、リマスター版なんですね、これ。
And speaking of that wonderful Donate to Charity button.
たまにそのグリッジ紹介の動画でとんでもない数の箱が出てきて天まで届いてるっていうのをよく見かけるんですが、ちょっとリマスター版は私見たことないのでご存知の方いらっしゃいましたらぜひとも解説よろしくお願いいたします。
I would love to see that get hit during the Talos Principal Reawakened run, so I believe that you can do it. Speaking of the money that we have raised thus far during SPQ 2025, we have raised $182,467 towards Doctors Without Borders. That is fantastic. Give yourselves a round of applause.
でまたぺちゃんこの動画で
We are getting ever closer to 190,000, and of course that means getting closer to 200,000, and we thank you so much for all of your generous donations during the first part of this marathon. As a reminder of who we are benefiting right now, Doctors Without Borders, or Médecins Sans Frontières, is an independent international organization that provides emergency medical care to the people who need it most. MSF cares for people affected by conflict, disease outbreaks, disasters, and social exclusion in more than 70 countries. To learn more, please visit doctorswithoutborders.org.
私先ほどもちょっと申したんですけどこのゲームそのものをプレイしたことはないのでどんなゲームかは知ってるんですがプレイしたことはないのでそちらのゲームの内容を知ってる方いらっしゃいましたらそちらの解説だけでも非常に助かりますので音声解説やコメント欄での補足解説をいただけましたら非常に助かります。
Talents of the runners that we have here with us this week. Speaking of your donations translate to a lot of different life-saving care that Doctors Without Borders provides. For example, a $10 donation can buy enough vaccines to immunize 45 people against poliovirus, 15 treatments to cure children from malaria, or it can buy clean drinking water for over 1,000 people for 1 week.
この後この続きのメインフレームというタイトルの方もこちら解説の方現在いらっしゃいませんのでご存知の方いらっしゃいましたらよろしくお願いします。でその次の予定時間では深夜12時の方ロードコーストタイクーンの方はこちら解説の方いらっしゃいます。お楽しみください。
No comment, but thank you so much for that incredibly generous donation. We really appreciate it. Hey everyone, welcome back to Summer Games Done Quick 2025, benefiting Doctors Without Borders. I'm your host, Jadelyn, and I have been having the best time spending the morning hours here with all of you. I know I got a little bit of a hype from the audience earlier, but audience, how are we doing this morning? Love to hear it, love to see it. This is so great. Chat, I hope you are doing wonderfully as well. I've loved getting to see everything that you are all saying on this fine day. Thank you so much for rocking out to our song choices, to shouting out everything that's been going on. We love seeing all of you here. Thank you for making our morning as wonderful as we're making yours. We've got $50 from Just an Ordinary Rat. No comment, but thank you, Just an Ordinary Rat. We appreciate the $50 that you have donated towards Doctors Without Borders. We've got $50 from ZapDot that just says, good luck. Thank you so much, ZapDot, for that donation, and thank you for the good luck. I'm sure the runners all appreciate it. And with that, I've gotten word that we're now ready for Proto's all campaigns, no FF run of the Talos Principle Reawakened. Let's uncover the mystery.
Hi, I am Proto. I primarily speedran the Talos Principle 2, and when I heard they were making a remaster of the original and its DLC and Talos 2's engine, I had to jump at the opportunity. So I'm very excited. I've been playing, having a lot of fun. I'm very excited to be playing it here at SGDQ. Commentators, if you want to.
Sure. Hi, I'm Gelly. I'm primarily a Talos runner. I did a lot of Talos 2 running as well, and I've done Reawakened.
カテゴリーの方がノー FF っていうのあるんですか？おそらく何かを禁止するカテゴリーではあると思うんで、おそらくまっとうにプレイするのではないかと思われますが、フルーティーパズルはまた別のゲームですね。
Yeah, so time will start when he skips his cutscene. So a 3, a 2, a 1, a go.
Good luck.
So, to explain all campaigns no FF, in the Reawakened remaster, they've added 3 different campaigns that exist. There's the main Talos, there's going to be Road to Gehenna, and then there's ITB in the beginning. We'll be going through each of those in a any % minimum glitches, no major glitches sort of capacity. And no FF, there's an inbuilt mechanic called Fast Forward, where you're able to fast forward your progress. It's primarily for recorder puzzles, but it makes the game run at 2 times speed. It's not really something that we're super interested in. We'll save it for the FF run for Roller Coaster Tycoon later on in the marathon to see it. From here, you may be noticing that he's navigating his way on the walls here, doing a bunch of parkour. This is not how the game is meant to be played, surprisingly. This is a puzzle game. You're supposed to be utilizing the different items in order to open barriers and be able to collect all these sigils. But due to the engine being the way that it is, we're able to navigate our way around the walls.
原作といいますか、元はもうちょっと前のゲームなんですけど、これはリマスター版で最近に発売されたもののようです。
Unlock a door at the very end, and you get this eternalized ending. We'll be just be collecting 4 sigils instead. You may also be noticing that he's been able to collect a sigil, wait a little bit, and then make his way back up on the wall. Bobby, what is that?
Yeah, so we have a new rewind mechanic in this game where, functionally you can get stuck in a puzzle game. So let's say you lock yourself out of a puzzle or you do a mistake. This is kind of the game's way to let you go back in time to say, okay, here you go. You can go fix like from 5 seconds ago, right? We take advantage of that in this game in order to go back X amount of time. The game recognizes that, okay, you have a sigil. That should be a permanent upgrade, right? So you should have these once you finish a level. And then going back, we use that a lot throughout this run to go back, get an item that we had previously, and then use it for an upcoming level here.
And we're about to end the run here. So he's hopped on the side of the elevator here. When re-importing assets, they basically kept the position of everything, but they remastered the assets that they're using, including collision on the edge of the elevator here. You're not able to jump while you're inside the elevator, but you are able to, say, if you're on the edge of this elevator here while it's going down, walk into the corner while a particular piece of collision is passing, and that'll allow you to jump up here.
We're out,
we're going to go past A, and then we're going to to go past B here, and then we're going to go
先ほどの
past
スタイ
C,
ルで
and
見
now
まし
we're
たが
going
こ
to
れ
hit the eternalized ending trigger from the back. Normally the doors would open
どこ
once
で
you
すか
collect
ここは。
all of the sigils, and we're about to end the game here. So there we go. That's awesome.
壁を抜けようと思ったら知
This
らない
is
場
a
所にいる。
faster any percent than existed in the original game, so that's awesome. We're popping off here. We're actually playing the game in Chinese because the terminals are dependent on, one character per iota of time. So the less characters you can get, the better. So we're going to be playing in traditional Chinese just for the express purposes of these terminals here. That's any percent done. So there we go, first campaign. Now we're moving on to Road to Gehenna.
もう終わったんですよ。
Road to Gehenna is a DLC that came out about a year after the game originally came out in 2015. It primarily centers around this crew of maligned characters, these goofy robots that we have to save from themselves. They're currently in Hell or Gehenna, and we have to, as Uriel, save them from being cringe and writing fan fiction or whatever. You can read the lore.
もう一発でしろってぐらいのスピードで駆け抜けて
We'll
ま
be
すよ。
navigating through, if you might recall, we were navigating through A1, which was the level that we were previously, and then we'll be making our way to the Gehenna section of the game. It's split up into 4 different worlds, 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll be starting with 2 because that's
まあ
closest
今
to us, but
後
also it contains
予
5
定あるんですが、
robots.
タイタンロール
We need
2かってぐらい
to
早い
free
で
and
す。
17 of the robots before we can access the terminal that allows us to
ひた
end
す
the
ら
game.
走り抜けている。
So we'll need to collect those 17 robots. Unlike in the Talos, where you only had to collect so many sigils before collecting a trigger, we actually do need to collect all these robots. But rest assured, there are no puzzles to be solved here, so no spoilers.
これ
Don't
も多
worry
分
about
別
that.
ワールドってことでいいでしょう。
So this is going to be World 2, maybe the most intensive of the worlds in terms of execution. So we'll be starting with Cube Driver here. There's a kind of precise jump that if he messes it up, it'll be another 30-second time loss. Not 30 seconds there.
岩壁を登っている。
But if he makes it on top, very good. All right, very difficult. There's a precise amount of velocity that you have to get in order to pop over the fence without popping too far and landing on the fence on the other side. From there, he's just going to simply scale onto the rocks over here and make his way on the sand over to Haircut, which
なんか
is
立体
again,
迷路って小学
this
生が
one's
やりそうなこと
relatively
やって
simple.
ます
He
け
just
ど。
needs to jump in here
お
over
そらく
some
本来ここ通れない場所なんでしょう
be
ね。
able to do the rest of the levels here. In anticipation of the next level that we'll be completing, which is Bunny Hop, you may notice that when he's accessing these cubes, little footprints are going to appear. Those are called guided jumps. The game gives you these guided jumps in order to avoid there being any skill-based component to doing some of these jumps. But we do want to use skill, so we have the ability to suppress guided jumps. So that jump in particular, definitely not supposed to be able to do that. The puzzle's supposed to be a lot more
なんか
intensive
空
than
中を浮いたように見え
that.
ましたが。
Normally, the game gives you a guided jump that basically sticks you to the floor no matter where you jump from. But as a new addition to this game, you have the ability to suppress your guided jumps with a particular keybind. So there's going to be many instances that I'm going to attempt to call out as he's using cubes where he doesn't want to get the guided jump. He has to use the skillful curved jump in order to do what he's looking to do. Finally, we'll be taking the Crater here. Crater is an incredibly difficult level. Just kidding, Lamau. We'll just pop into here.
Great. Well, can I pop in with a quick donation?
Absolutely.
I love that. We've got $20 from Bush that says just a simple good luck for me. Have fun, Prodel, and everyone.
Awesome.
Thank you, Bush.
We actually have time for maybe 1 or 2 more donations as we're running between levels here.
Fantastic. You got time, like right now?
Right now, yeah.
Right now,
Kick
right
it.
now. We've got $50 from Equinox that says big thanks to Prodel, Gelly, and Bobby, who got me into the awesome Talos speedrunning community from their run last year. Sad I couldn't be there with you guys today, but so hyped to see it. Best of luck for the run.
Thanks, Equinox.
Thank you, Equinox.
Man, Equinox is from Malta. Shoutouts to Malta. We'll be moving through World 3 here. World 3 has some more interesting mechanics in terms of the actual execution they have to do. For example, up here he's going to be placing a jammer, and then he's going to grab from the other side. Bobby, what does this jammer
Yeah, so normally, we've been going out in and outside of levels many times in this, but sometimes we're going to manipulate items in between levels, and so there is a way that we can jammer sneak in between gates. And so through, like, with that little gap in between, like the gate, the game will check to see, is there a wall or a boundary in between myself and the item to grab it? And so basically, right in that little sliver, it says, no, there isn't, and so you're able to grab that item through the gate.
Correct. And then from there, you may have just seen, we'll point it out in more detail when it comes up again. He's able to find a ladder while holding an item. Frame perfect trick. That's the reason that he's playing at 80 FPS. He needs to have high enough FPS in order to do jumps, such as the one in Bunny Hop that we looked at previously, but he needs to have low enough FPS to be able to pull off frame perfect tricks there. This is going to be some incredibly tight parkour here in Ray Trivia. Even though he has rewind that allows him to go back 4 seconds every time that he messes up, it costs 4 seconds. It looks like he's getting a first try. I don't even need to talk about how difficult that is.
本来の場所ではないところに アイテム置きましたね。
This next level gets no love from me though, because this is well, if you make it there.
Yeah.
We'll be going to BFF here. An interesting thing to note, I mentioned before that the way that they basically took a 1-to-1 for each of the positions, and then they placed a new version of it. So these rocks are slightly higher here because the collision has been made in such a way where you can just make it over that wall. In the original game, that was available to us, but it was so precise that it was only used in a segmented capability that we did a segmented run back in like 2021 or something along those lines. So as we're making our way to our next level, another donation from Jalen, if you would.
I would love to give you this $500 from Weirdaholic.
Thank you so much.
It says, "Hello, my child. It is I, Elohim. Since words don't stop you from trying to escape, how about a small bribe? Hi, Weird here. I hear tax refunds are a great source for donations, so let me drop a small love bomb for MSF. Thank you for your work. It's more needed than ever. Let's transcend the simulation. Less than 3.
Also, donation matching with your employer. That's like a big true.
Free money. So now we're going to be moving on to Press and Jam. This is the most difficult of the levels that we're going to be working with here because this jump being possible is incredibly tight. First, he has to navigate past all of these walls with very thin, almost no run up here, and then this jump is incredibly difficult. He's got a second try.
It's very tough. It's super tight.
Thankfully, he's got rewind here.
Nice.
Second try.
Wow.
Second try.
That is very, like, you have to jump off. It's almost like a mini coyote time. You have to, like, just barely get on the edge of that.
リマスターのせいでかえって
While he does this puzzle, which is just going to involve the guy to jump here, the mechanics in this game in terms of parkour are so vastly worse in terms of parkour, in terms of more skill intensive than compared to Talos 1. Whereas with Talos 1, you had literally coyote time. You literally would have the ability to be able to jump off. In some instances in this game, if you get a slight increase in elevation, you like stub your toe, you will actually get your jump completely killed and you won't be able to act upon that. So he's having to navigate some of these walls in very strange looking ways just to avoid the fact that if he jumps at a particularly wrong time, instead of getting an additional jump like you might in Talos 1, you get no jump in the Reawakened version. That's air delivery, relatively simple there. And then from here, we're going to use a little bit of interesting Easter egg tech. You actually get a little bit of a slide here because in the original game, the physics gave you sliding when you would land after a fan, whereas in the new game, you would get stopped on the dot. And there's an Easter egg, there's a little island that exists off to the side where you would only be able to access that if you have that sort of sliding capability. So they re-added it in just to be able to access that Easter egg, and much like anything else in Gehenna, we're going to weaponize Easter eggs as much as we can.
Big fan of that.
You want to keep talking?
No.
Okay. Then let's get a donation from Jalen.
I'd love to give you a donation.
ハーフライフかポータルかってぐらい飛んでますね。
That says, "Hey Brodel, saw your Talos Principal run last year and fell in love. Here's a bit for all of us watching online together.
ちょっ
Hope the run
と
goes
見たことあ
well."
るんですけど、
I did
さす
also
がに
really
こんなに
quickly
飛ぶような
want to
ことは
mention
しなかっ
that we have a
た
new
記憶あります
glasses or mustaches bid were for Plants versus Zombies. Love to see which one would win that. And as an other brief update, our upgrade to
た
invisible
だなんか
enemies
今の
and
とこ
bosses.
ろ普通にプレイしててもできるんじゃないかっていうグリッチが多々散見されるんですけど、
We are making
いいよかな。
so much progress. Thank you so much, everyone.
And so Proto just grabbed, thank you, Jalen. We just grabbed a bit of a leprechaun piece. Kelly, what does that mean?
今みたい
Yeah,
な
so there's an Easter egg in this game where
本
you
来
can
持
assemble
ち
a
運べない
in order to cause a jig to
持ち
happen
出せないであろう場所に
at the very end. However, these
壁越しに
pieces have no gravity.
持って
You
ったり
can
してま
place
すけ
them
ど。
wherever and they'll just stay there. But they have enough collision in order to literally get guided jumps off of them for whatever reason.
あ、
So
そ
we
れ
ended
は
up
見た
using
ことあり
that
ますね。なん
instance
か
here
キューブが
to place
すごい
the
増殖してる
piece
の
past a purple,
で、
for example,
オ
and
リジナ
then
ル
to
版もっと
also
早いんで
utilize
す
it in
か。
order to get on top of the walls because there's no easier way to do that. An interesting thing to note as we enter
3
open
分。
field, this will just be a connector thing here. Those leprechaun pieces have to be placed in
お
third
そらく
person.
なんかエンディング直行とか
Because
そ
in
んな
third
レベル
person
で
you
しょうかね。
have more flexibility in what movement you are able to do, as well as a slightly increased grab range. You are able to place those pieces slightly inside of purples, slightly off of the ground,
なん
etc.
かカテゴリー的にはそこまでひどいグリッチは
I love
許可していないカテゴリーだと思われるん
way
で
to
す
play
が。
this game, in my opinion, but
それにし
that
て
is a
もスピ
very
ー
hot
ディー
take
で
in
す
the
ね。
community, apparently. Everyone plays in first person.
You can be wrong. It's okay. Anyways, we'll be moving on to SCSF here, where there's another Easter egg you were able to access through the back. You're able to look at some things, but instead we'll be grabbing a robot and then rewinding our way back.
そこ
And
登
then
れ
you've
ちゃ
got
ダメ
the
だと思うん
connection
です
over
が。
here in order to grab the hexahedron. An interesting thing to know about the hexahedron is that it gives you the ability to stand on surfaces that you normally would not be able to stand on, including this receiver over here. So
なん
you
か
can
ラスターになってコリジョンを厳格化したせいでこう簡単に壁を抜けられるようになってしまったのが原因な感じでしょうかね。
But because we're doing an RTA run here, we're just going to rewind to the beginning. At the end of Gehenna here, where there's going to be a lot of discussion over a terminal in Chinese for about like the next 30 seconds or so. So I'm going to leave it open to Jadelyn to give us some donations or otherwise.
I would love to give you a donation, $10 from Perk. Hello from the crowd. Hi.
Let's go, crowd.
Super excited for a week of great speed runs. Thanks to everyone that helps make this event happen. Go, Protal, go!
Keep her going.
Great, we've got $25 from Mr. John Talos, a haiku. Woke in a garden. How do these pieces fit? Oh no, the game broke.
Not to jinx us here, but I will say that the game definitely had a UE1 crash while we were testing on stage. So fingers crossed that the game does not break here. But we're on our way to the third campaign here in the beginning. In the beginning is intended to be a prequel that discusses the characters who are building this world. In case you didn't know, Talos is a simulation, and so they're building the simulation that's being put together here from like game engine parts that are from Crow Team, but the version of Crow Team in this universe. There's a whole bunch of complicated lore associated with that, but the most interesting thing to note is that these were built by mappers who made custom maps back in the day, back in 2014, just for the fun of it on the Steam Workshop. So these people know a little bit more about like what speedrunners do. For example, there's a series of maps that exist in the original game where they call us out for using pick down, put up jumps and so on and so forth. Very silly. But they're onto us a little bit more, so we had to put a lot more work into being able to maneuver through here. So for example, there's a very, very slight gap.
So tiny.
There's no real reason for that purple barrier to be there otherwise. It only exists there to block just in case we were to, say, break out a jammer in this particular instance. They just barely missed the mark in terms of being able to stop us from doing that. And then from here, we'll be grabbing the cube in order to access the rest of these levels here.
One other thing you can note is that all of these walls are particularly high on purpose. It's kind of the game developer's way of saying, there's no way you're going to break into this. We are clearly about to do that.
制限してるカテゴリーではあると。
It's to prevent people
まあ
who
どう見ても自由すぎるんですけど、これ。
not us. We're gonna get past anything.
むしろそれをその制限をなくしたらどんなスピードで終わってるんでしょうか、これ。
Circle jump here. So there he goes. All right, makes it through. Very good. And then he collects the sigil here, and then he's going to make it past this level here. This is
ある程度通常プレイの範疇でもやることだと。
There's literally a moat that prevents you from making it to the level past here. It's called Daydream. It's a particularly difficult
やっぱり
level
持
to
ち出してるん
actually
ですね。
do. We are going to employ everything that we can to get past it. Normally, you're supposed to use this subway to get past a series of turrets.
Nope.
It's wild. We're not going to do that. Instead, we're going to navigate
もうやっ
past
てることはポータル
some
なん
very
ですよ、これ。
precise jumps. The last difficult one being just about here, and he's made it very good. And so now he's going to navigate around the back of Daydream, where there exists a very convenient invisible wall that we can set this cube on top of, and we'll be able to jump in for the sigil.
A bit of a precise placement coming up. This cube can do a bit of sliding if you don't get it right in the right spot. Very nice job.
Very good, very good. And then he's going to do a bunch of rewinding to make it back. As we've noted before, the rewinds are usually intended in order to make our way back onto the wall for what we're doing, but it also allows us to go pretty much all the way back, 28 seconds, 32 seconds, increments of 4 seconds like that. We'll be doing this last level here. Normally, if you're doing a run where you start with ITB, you would not need to use a cube here. It's a very precise series of jumps to do so, but because we're working with Marathon Strats, we're going to use
次回進行交代となります。続き SGD2025 をお楽しみください。コーダの担当は箱森黒子でした。それでは失礼いたします。
This is still in the beta development stage of everything, so it's just there's section and section and section. So once we get to this Roman area here, we're going to be making our way to yet another level in order to break some mechanics out. So first we're going to start out with the jammer. The jammer is going to be crucial in order to break a stable citadel, which is a Fort Knoxian sort of construction.
はい、司会交代しました。キャルガです。よろしくお願いします。
So while we're making our way through
やってるゲームが
I think we're open for another donation.
何も見ずに
Well,
取り込ん
great,
できた。
because I have so many donations coming
FPS
in
ですか
for
ね。ちょっ
this run.
と
We've got
画面酔
$10
いしやすい人
from
間なので、
No
あんま
Shield
り
Dudes
画
that
面
says
注視できないん
longtime
ですけど。
viewer, first time donator, had to donate during one of my favorite puzzle games. Well, thank you so much for
よろ
that
しくお願い
first
しま
time
す。
donation. We certainly appreciate it. And also, we've got $25 from Melissa that says, so excited to see one of my favorite games played completely as intended.
Yeah, this is how everyone
最
played it the
近の
first
ゲームなん
time.
ですね。2025年の
Solving a
PC ゲー
single
ム。
puzzle.
パズルゲーム
Depends
え、
who
そう
you
なの
Yeah, so this is the most probably difficult part of
じ
this
ゃ
entire
あ
section is this jump.
FPP ってこと
You're not supposed to be able to stand on this post and it
Nice.
shows, but he got a second try, very good there.
Beautiful.
He'll be using the jammer to break out a series of mechanics. Yeah,
い
absolutely!
やでもなんか酔いそうなことにはちょっと変わりないんで、ちょっと目をそらしつつも。
So he used the jammer to jam the barrier that's up at the top there. Normally you're supposed to get a series of lasers there, but because the jammer can jam anything that you please, we're able to make it up here. And something to note, these fans normally blow you a little bit higher than the ledge, so it takes a while to get off the fan and then fall down to the ledge. So there's a minor
シューティング
optimization
じゃな
that
い
he
とし
uses
たら
where
こう
he
手に持
actually
ってる
comes
も
in
のは
closer
何な
to
ん
the
だろ
wall
う。
so that he can
パズル
pop
の
off the fan
ブロ
just
ック
that
とか
little
なの
bit
I think you're
smaller.
avoiding almost like a guided jump kind of. You're kind of hitting it at the side, yeah.
Right. But now we've got the last series of these puzzles to do with the cube here. So we're going to first start with this out-of-place Egyptian-themed level that exists here. There's bug reports that exist that talk about whether or not there should be Egyptian themes, so on and so forth. There's some very precise parkour here where he's navigating
うん、
along
そうね、
some
パルクールして
slippery walls.
る
Very good, very good.
ようにはなんかすごいすっ飛ばしてるけど、テトリミノみたいなすっ飛ばしてる。
Which one? Asynchrony?
Yeah.
ああ、
Oh,
芝
yeah.
に
So
した
while
り、
he
レ
does
ー
this
ザー
one,
センサー遮ったり、
asynchrony
めちゃく
is
ちゃ役
a
立ちな
level
の。
that's designed to, using a recording, have the ability to have two cubes in the air at once.
本当は迷路上のパズルギミック。
to the
ああ、
recording
な
where
る
you're
ほど。
like able to pause it at particular
ああ、
instances.
芝にしてるしてる。
And so
本当
there's
だ。
this fan that goes back and forth with this
なんだろう、
cube.
ゼルダの悪いことしてるや
It's
つみたいな
very
感じ。
difficult to be able to make it in there.
It's very tough.
So he's going to
本当はこういうゲームじゃないんだ。
have to make his way either through the level intended, hilarious, or he's going to make it past the grate that opens at the end. When you
なん
finish
か
any
ね、
of these
こ
puzzles,
う
the
こ
grate
の
that
画
comes
面だ
down
け
here.
ね
So he's actually
今
going to switch to
3
third
分ぐらい
person
見
because
て
again,
る
he needs some pretty
限りだ
precise
とね、もう
positioning
こういう
in
ゲー
order
ム
to
なのかなっ
place
て
the
思っちゃう
cube
け
where
ど、
he
こういう
wants.
ゲームじゃな
He's
いという
gonna
こ
grab
と
the
ですね
cube。here.
See if we can get it. Here we go. Once we grab this, he'll be grabbing the cube
あ、
midair.
ロボ
We'll
ッ
be
トなんだ。
placing it midair
で、
as
あれ
well.
なんだ、サードパーソンにもできる。
First
First
try.
try, wow.
Very good. All right.
ベリーグッドベリーグッドかな
Incredibly precise.
ベリーグッドタイミング
If you, in the split second that exists there, when you drop the cube, it falls slightly faster than you do, and so it actually clips underneath you and gives you just enough ground to run off. So
解説のお二人はなんか楽しそうだなっていうのは分かった。
Very, very
And
nice.
then
結構
from there,
キューブ
as
で
you
かいん
saw,
だ
he
な。
was able to pick up an item
ない
on
な
the
いない。
same frame that he was climbing a
ピュン
ladder,
ピュンピュンピュン
make the item come with him on the other side. Normally, we don't usually have to do that
結
because
構
if
デ
you
カ
get
め
on
の
the
キュー
wall,
ブ
who
を
cares whether or not you get an item to a
ね
different
持って
section,
こんなに
but
さっそうと
in that particular
軽
example,
快に
it's very
走ってるの
difficult
す
to
ご
get
い
on top of the walls. Again, because ITB is constructed in this way.
And so now we're heading to our third area, our desert area. This is the final area in the final section of this run. Would you like to begin with our first level here?
Yeah, sure. So this first level, normally you're intended to navigate through it and get 4 different cubes onto 4 different pressure plates in order to open a single barrier. But these rocks back here are just so that you're able to climb on them very precisely. Very good.
Nice.
And then he jumps over here and he gets the sigil from here. And he'll use this as a baseline in order to navigate this jammer through to the rest of these levels here. Unfortunately, most of these levels are just grab a jammer, use it to jam, rewind, rewind. So we'll leave it open during this walking time to get a couple more donations.
確かにな。
I would love to give you a couple of more donations, like this $100 from Cas GT. Thank you so much. No comment, but we certainly appreciate it very much.
Awesome.
We also have $30 from Florian that says, love you all for what you're doing all those years, all those GDQ. I love you, and we love you back. Thank you so much.
Awesome.
なんかすごいさ、画面の中では、サッカーボールなの？なんかぽよぽよしてるやつがあるなって思ったんですけど。
We'll be using the cube in order to, again, there's a slight lip here that's just enough in order to make it onto these walls here. He makes a curve jump around here, so not trivial, but makes his way over there. Very good.
油断してると終わりそうだよな。
Here, he's going to rewind with the jammer to use it one last time for this puzzle
こ
over
れは
here.
何？
This
この
puzzle
今持っ
is
てる
very
やつ。
interesting in that you're supposed to navigate the cube up to the very top, but instead we're going to jam it. We're going going to take the place of the cube, and we're going to use this slight little lip in order to place a cube there. Very good.
Nice.
He's going to suppress a guided jump here, right?
Yep.
Yep, in order to jump backwards instead of
あ、
jumping on top.
紫の
And then
ファーンって
here
や
he's
つ
going
に
to
通る
body
と
block a laser so that the fence
持ち
doesn't
物が
come
な
up
くなる
until
はず
he
なんだ、
needs it
本
to.
当は。
And then once he's on top of the fence,
このなんか
he will
なんだ
just
かわからない
fly with it. And that's
三
the
脚付
final
きカメラ
puzzle
みたい
there.
な。
And
That's all of our sigils for the game.
Yep.
So all of those little icons that we were collecting, all the
も
tetrometers
うあ
we
れ
were
なのか
collecting,
な。
we're now completed and we're heading out to our final
コンプリー
gates.
ト？
there's 3 blast doors that exist here where he's going to
あ、こ
solve
う
the
ゲートを
Tetronomos
通り
puzzles on
飛び
top of
越し
them.
て
And
しまえ
then,
ば
because the
もう
blast
関係ない
doors
ってこ
open
と？
so slowly,
ゲ
it's
ート
actually
も。
more efficient to reset checkpoint at the
こ
beginning
れ
of
は
the
もうあれなの？
And
ウ
then
ィニング
he's
ラン
going
みたいな
to
感じな
climb
の？
up the
あ、
tower.
なるほ
It'll take
ど。
him about
パ
30
ズルしてる。
seconds to get to the
終わ
top,
った？
and then he's going
も
to
しかし
access
て。
the terminal, and that'll be the end of the run. So I feel like more is an appropriate
この
time
パ
for
ー
us
ツ
to
を
give some
今まで
shout-outs.
集
I'd
め
like
て
to
た
shout out the Talos
わけ
community,
で
folks
すよ
like
ね。
Apple and Darkhead who are very instrumental in making sure that Talos Reawakened has its leaderboard put together, and
パ
to
ズル
all
解く
the
と手に
runners,
入るパーツでパズル。
especially Prodal. Thank you very much, Prodal, for
パズル
being
を解
able
くと
to do this
パズルができ
within
る
the short amount of
最
time
高の
on
シ
the
ステム。
submission schedule to do this so well.
Yeah.
Bobby, any shout-outs?
Yeah, shout outs for me. Big shout out to Devolver Digital. So many team members there care so deeply
急に
about
パ
the
ズル
communities
ゲーム
for
み
their
たいになっ
games,
て
and
ね。
it just really makes the difference. So huge shout out to the whole
わ
Devolver
あ、
team,
怖いこの
as
階
well as
段。
again Prodal for having us today. So thank you so much.
I'd like to give a shout out to El
あ、
Corgus.
中国語じゃん。
He knows what's up!
ワマンは読めるよ。今デュオリンゴで中国語やってるんで、若干すっごい簡単な単語なら読める。
Time. There it is. All
あ、
right.
終わった。グッドゲーム。
That was a great run. Wow.
Yeah, it's very good. 23
サービス営業で売ってるようなパズルゲーム、確かにな。
Yes, sir.
Wow.
タロス。
Flew past that.
Yeah.
何も分かんなかったけど、グッドゲームでした。
That's it from me. Anything left for you to say,
No,
Bobby?
I think I'm all good on shout outs. I think we shouted everyone out to Prodal. Any big shout outs end of the run?
Shout out to my partner for supporting me through this.
Heck yeah. I think that's it from us. Thank you very much, GDQ.
Thank you so much for having us. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of the day.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for that fantastic run. That went
はい、じゃあ次のゲームまでしばしお待ちください。
Thank you so much. It has been a wonderful time being here with you all on this fabulous Monday, morning, afternoon, or evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. We're just happy that you are choosing to spend time with us. I did have a $10 donation that I wanted to grab in there real quick. $10 from Dire Dachshund that says, I do what I must because I can. I mean, I can donate to win that super cool portal string art. So thank you so much. Remember that you can be entered in for prizes with your donation. Thank you very much for that. Now, with that, I did want to let you know that my time here on the desk has ended for today, but I will be back later. So please, I hope you enjoy the rest of your time. Again, this is a great time for you to get refreshed. You know, go to the bathroom, get your water, get your snacks and drinks, and everything that makes you feel like a fantastic new person. As we get into the next part of our day, we're going to go to a break, and we'll be back with more Summer Games Done Quick 2025 benefiting Doctors Without Borders right after this.
Good morning, Minneapolis. Good morning, Summer Games Done Quick 2025. My name is Okabun, and it's my honor to be your host for the next couple of runs we have on this fine day 2 of Summer Games Done Quick 2025, benefiting Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders. But of course, not only is it my pleasure to introduce myself, wow, as a host, it is my pleasure to introduce our sponsor for this event, AMD. All right, Summer Games Done Quick 2025. How are we feeling today? Yeah, you feel that, audience? Early morning energy. I love that. Keep it up, folks. Thanks to you, we have raised over $189,000 for for Doctors Without Borders. I'm so excited for the event. I am getting myself mixed up here, but we can keep it going. And folks, let me tell you, you just heard Snake Eater during the break earlier, and hey, we've got Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater coming up with an incentive open. That's an upgrade to invisible enemies and bosses. You can absolutely make that harder for our runner Apache Smash. We are 10% of the way there. If we meet our $30,000 goal, we will absolutely make things difficult. And I want to see that. So when you donate, whether that is through gdq.gg/donate or through our wonderful Twitch extension. And chat, you've been doing a wonderful job explaining how to do that. Keep it up. Make sure you select that incentive. Put your money towards there. We want to see that number go up, and we want to see it go up soon. Wouldn't it be great if we could just knock that out and have that runner start panicking before their run? Yeah? Invisible enemies? We've raised over $14,000 on that Twitch extension as well. So, you know, let's hit 15,000 in this next hour. Can we do it? I believe we can. Now, we've got some wonderful games coming up for you, including Mainframes, Roller Coaster Tycoon, and Crash Twinsanity. But, of course, we couldn't do this without the help of some other fun games like our sponsors from Sega. Now, Sega has a game coming out, the iconic Shinobi, and that is coming out on August 29th. You can pre-order that right now. It's an all-new 2D action platformer with a unique hand-drawn look created by the team behind the hit brawler Streets of Rage 4. So, you know, if you like seeing our beat-em-ups earlier today, make sure you give that a go. But speaking of games, I do hear our run is ready. So, this is Mainframes Any Percent by Derek. Let's jump on in.
Hi everyone, I am